We're live.
Call the meeting to order. Do we have any citizens input? No citizens input. Do we have any delegations? None. We'll go to additions or deletions and improve the agenda.
I have one addition.
Okay.
It's a discussion regarding a request to have some vending going on during some swim meets. Just looking for a consensus on it, not a yay or nay.
Vending from outside source.
Yep.
Coming into the rec center.
Actually, from the parking lot.
Parking lot. Okay. Anything else? So would you like to motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Approval of minutes from the September board meeting.
Pretty brief.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. September financial reports.
Here's the bills for the campground. Why they're in three different segments is that there's the first council meeting of the month, the second council meeting, and the one in between is typically the credit card bill. Any questions on the campground? Moving on to parks bills.
I had two questions. I don't know what number they were, but what is the right there maybe? I know the Veterans Park utilities. Oh, right down. Yeah. What does that all entail?
Water fountain and electric. Water fountain's a larger one.
For that amount? Is that, I guess yeah. That's mainly the water fountain.
You guys do some repairs in that part.
In the corner that they're putting in the stoplight, there'd be a button that was installed, but there was no recent repairs to the park, to my knowledge. Were there, Steve?
The only other one I had was the truck. Is that a new truck or is it a? It was down a ways. 6,000 something. No.
Adam asked me the question on that one, and that is regarding pickleball courts.
Right there.
Is that a transmission, Steve?
Nope, that's the repairs, the body work.
The paint job because it got run into several months back.
One of my more guys clipped the pickup.
So the majority was covered by insurance, but we had to cover the deductible. Anything else? Move on to rev and expense campground. Something you will notice in next month's campground revenue is that we received around $30,000 from the state of South Dakota. 14 of that we knew was coming. It was regarding replacement for the sign that we took out for the campground, and this came from the Highway 37 project. The landscaping, the gate, and the light, correct? And the other that we didn't know that we would be getting a payment for is the easement, because they used part of the right-of-way for the trail to go through there, so we got payment for that. We were expecting about $14,000 and ended up with about $30,000. Not the easement would have been the driveway. There was some payment there as well. Let me go back up to revenue. That's year to date on fees this year in comparison to last year. Part of that comes from having a campground that wasn't accessible. When I say accessible, I meant the road entering the campground. It wasn't very easy to get to for a lot of people.
That's still pretty good, though, I think, for
Yeah.
what they had to deal with there. Yeah.
And Adam asked one question on here as well. It had to do with this.
Yeah.
Capital outlay of $739,000. I said that's to go toward the storm shelter. And the bids got opened on it last week, and they turned out to be about $400,000 higher than what is budgeted. So we're going back to the engineer to see what can be changed on that. Right now, there's FEMA spec'd concrete slabs, the walls and the roof that are going on there, and they're also made semi-locally here in the region, but they do not have FEMA specifications on them, but they might still meet the same type of specs without saying FEMA on them. So that might be one way where we're able to trim it, but this is conversations that we have to have at the engineering level, not at my level. So we'll know more in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
And Park and Rec.
I missed last meeting, but the new fees that were voted. When are those taking effect?
January.
January, okay.
And the question was posed of me, what do we look at when it comes to, in that last meeting for Galton Cemetery, what we look at when we do fees as far as adjustments, whether we go regionally and look at other rec centers or if we stay locally. We stay locally, but on that same point, we really don't have a comparison to look at because other places don't have pools and the whole exercise and gyms all together. So we're kind of our own bird when it comes to that. So we go with what we believe is reasonable in terms of the rates upon discussion with all the staff that are at the rec center. So, and it's been the same for annually. We end up, generally speaking, in the 3 to 5% range, if not every year, every other year when it comes to increases. Am I accurate in that?
You are, but we did not have that rate increase last year.
Yeah.
Any questions along the way?
I'll motion to approve the financial reports.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Department reports.
Thomas, anything outside of what you put in your written report?
Nope.
What was really outstanding to hear about was the roof in terms of the flooding that the fire department did to find what had been actually numerous mini leaks up there, and now to have them reflooded again to have no leaks. So that was outstanding. So they're able to install all the new tile now, and hopefully, barring any wind-driven storms where something might appear, we'll be good to go. Jeremy, you want to make a speech for your last board meeting?
There won't be a speech tonight, no. Nothing that really sticks out, just DW baseball's done, softball will be done this week or early next week. Soccer goes till the end of the month, and then could host some games, depending on where they sit in the GPAC. But the ice arena is up and going. Practices are hockey, figure skating, doing full practices. Hockey tournament next weekend. Another tournament, I believe, November, first weekend in November.
Questions for Jeremy or Thomas?
I see that they replaced the toilets and sinks in that Kent Road.
Yep, we had tried to make, well, we can't make them bigger. I mean,
Yeah.
the backstops are too close to the bathrooms, but we did get upgrades on the toilets, urinals, sinks, water fountains outside. All got replaced and we're new this fall.
We were approved for half of what we requested as far as remodeling the restrooms, so we think we got a pretty good product end result out of what we had for funds. Steve, anything?
Just that we're doing a lot of winterizing of shelters, restrooms, irrigation systems. Got irrigation put in back in around the new pickleball courts. We're going to wait to the end of this month to seed it, kind of dormant seed it. If we would have seeded it a week ago or whatever, it maybe would have germinated. And if we would have got a frost, it probably would have wiped it out anyways. So we're going to hold off, dormant seed it, and hopefully, it'll come up next spring. It's kind of the main stuff besides getting ready for winter.
What I was going to ask Jeremy, what's as far as winterizing, like the Cadwell with the work out there. They
We're
would
gonna wait as long as we can to winterize, but when it's time to blow them out, we got to blow them out. It takes 3.5 days. So, when we don't have water, then it is the company's responsibility to water it until they feel set. We're gonna hold off as long as we can. I mean,
What's a normal time? Like,
normally we're done by like November 1st. We got all our stuff done outside, and it's real close to freezing, anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all weather depending. It looks okay as of right now. I mean, there is one, maybe Saturday night it gets to 35, but we won't run sprinklers except on the stadium if it does get cold, and it'll have to just be an afternoon thing. And if we do get a little frost, it's hopefully not 32 all day long.
Anything else for Jeremy? Or Steve? Or Thomas?
What I've noticed on some of the pickleball courts that we've got some cracks in cement. And I'm worried about moisture getting in freezing during the winter time. Cracks there. That's even in the court itself. It's a little, you can see the hairlines, and they're getting bigger as you can freeze up. So I don't know what kind of a coating we put on there. Prevent that or what? Cause it. Just somebody had to go around and look at it, check it out.
First I've heard of, other than the saw cuts at
Is that, we looked a couple days ago, what is it? It's on the trail.
a couple things in mind. I'll highlight that we received word that we were awarded $78,709 toward that railroad trail. We had requested about $240,000, so it's about 1/3 of what we had requested, but it's better than nothing. Trees grant work, as Jason had just indicated in the last meeting, that new trail is being poured at the southwest corner of what will be the cemetery expansion. That will be a number of trees, and there'll be some along the trail on the southwest side of the lake, the concrete trail that was poured last year. There'll be some added there too.
is that I saw them back there, but is that done?
They
Is that
would have
all
finished up the end of this week, but given the rain, they're kind of delayed now. For those who may have heard about it or seen it last night, there was the public beach. It was rededicated as Siebert's Beach last night. There were probably 50 to 60 people there, and it was a very well-received event. I got to participate in the South Dakota Park and Rec Association Fall Conference last week in Spearfish. Always a good time in terms of learning from the presenters that are there, as well as getting to network with the other directors from around the state. And just as a note, we will be hosting this conference here in Mitchell next fall. For those who don't know or who may not have seen this in here, but Steve's crew leader has been hired to take over in Jeremy's position. He's been kind of looking at that here in the days past, and he will be doing some work starting the first part of November. I mentioned the campground signage here. The beaver, that's kind of an interesting issue. We just had a conversation on that prior to the meeting, is that somebody who actually is approved by the state to do trapping doesn't want to mess with it because it's in a public area. So we're going to have further discussion on how we're going to handle this one. The trails groups have pretty much finished up their work out there as far as the volunteers. And for those who may remember the conversations from the last 2 months regarding the projects at both Camp Arroyo and over at the the ramp, the boat ramp over by Sportsman's Club. The slab has now been poured over at Camp Arroyo as of yesterday. and that shelter should be built on top of the other slab here in the coming weeks yet. Questions? Thomas, I'll let you kick this off.
Okay, so we want to implement a new campus smoking policy currently at the rec center. It is illegal to, or it is against policy, to, thank you. Where are you going to be in a month when I need you? It's against policy to smoke, vape, chew in the rec center, but it is not against policy to walk out our front door and smoke, vape, and chew right next to the rec center. Now it is at Gertie Bell, so where the corn burner is, just east of our entrance, there's a sign that's actually posted from the school district that basically says the same thing our signage would say if this policy is adopted, which is within 100 feet of our entrances. You cannot smoke, cannot vape, cannot chew. It's a tobacco-free campus, and that would push people to the actual parking lot, which we can't police that, but it would push people out of our front mezzanine and out of the mezzanine right next to our 24/7 access doors. For me, when it comes down to it, we saw one of our members walk out the front door into the bus kids that were lining up from Gertie Bell smoking a cigarette, and he was doing it on purpose, right? And we didn't have any recourse once he left our building. We couldn't go out and police that at all. So it's one of those things that came to my attention, and we were like, man, it's a bad look. I mean, common sense would say if we have hundreds of kids coming to our facility after school, we probably shouldn't have people smoking right outside our entrance, vaping, or using smokeless tobacco too. So this policy actually was taken from the Department of Health. It's way more, we'll say it's way more detailed than what I would have put together, but we transitioned what they gave us to actually work for our facility. But it does cover everything from cigarettes, pipes, vaping products, I guess is the way to put that, and then smokeless tobacco as well. It does also cover our employees too. So this means that our employees as well are not going to be participating, not that we have any that do, but for future employees, it takes care of that right away and allows me to police that.
Questions on that?
Just one sign being put up.
So we'll put one right outside our main entrance that's going to be visible on the east wall right by our rec center sign. We'll have one by our 24/7 access entrance on the west side of the building by the employee parking lot. And then we'll have actually a couple additional signs that are posted out by the 100-foot mark on our main entrance, so people know you got to get past there before you can actually light up. It's kind of crazy, and Kevin, I don't know if you saw this when you were in Minnesota too. The amount of people that are walking into the center to exercise, smoking,
Toss
and,
it down
yeah,
50 feet outside the
yeah,
door.
and then throwing it down right outside her door. It's the truth.
We
And
used to have hanging ashtrays on the walls outside the entrance, and people would stand in the coves out there, and generally speaking from some of the group homes.
Yep.
Or shelters.
yeah. And we have similar things happening too. And if you guys have gone into the main entrance of the rec center, it is actually a little cove. So everything swirls in that area, and it does get into our actual center. You can smell it, and that's right where Chris is, and she don't need that. She doesn't need to have secondhand smoke billowing in through the doors.
Questions on that? Anybody disagree with?
Thomas, have you had any discussions with any of the people that you do see smoking in the area about it? Do you have any fear of them becoming upset about this policy or anything like that?
So we've dealt with the people that come. I have
absolutely zero jurisdiction to do anything, but I do have the conversations, yes. And what we've done is we've pushed them at least around the corner. Like, hey, do you guys mind at least getting out of the view of the kids and our staff and walk around that gym corner? And that puts them between where Gertie Bell's starts and ours is non-existent at this point. But we haven't had any pushback. Everybody's usually pretty respectful. We have a pretty good rapport with our members. There is one that is going to be upset, and it's the one that walked through the group of kids purposefully smoking, and I do believe it was on purpose. And if that's the case, at least now we would have the ability to say and police that individual.
And further if needed.
Yep.
I'll motion to approve the no smoking outside the rec center policy.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the addition of the exhaust fans to the Toshiba rink locker rooms.
Do you want to speak to this? You're becoming a regular.
Pretty self-explanatory. I'm Phil. I'm with Mitchell Skating and Hockey. We just want to add exhaust fans in the locker rooms because they need some air movement.
And these would actually vent outside the building
Yes,
through the
we'd like
west
to-
wall.
We like to vent them out, so not just in the rink.
And if you've ever been in a hockey locker room,
They're not good.
even 2 days later, it's not good.
So that's.
I did not visit with the building inspector on this. It is not making changes to the structure. It is simply a penetration, something that's normally approved by code in as far as what you're doing. And I'm sure you're putting in an approved.
Yeah.
You're an electrician. You know
Mhm.
exactly what to put in. So I have confidence that they would do it right.
So that's all I got.
Thank you. Questions, comments on that? Jeremy, any concerns?
I don't have any hockey gear. Smells very bad, and any kind of air movement and
I was over there a
part of
month,
those locker rooms.
month and a half ago, and they showed me exactly where they plan to put him, and I'm sure he showed you as well, and it just makes sense.
How high are the ceilings in there?
9 feet?
8 or 9.
I think they're 8.
Yeah, that's even worse.
How many fans are going to be installed?
It'll be one fan that pulls out all the rooms.
Oh, okay.
Is it on a timer, motion detector,
Yeah, we're gonna do a timer.
like 3 days on, 3 days on?
Yeah, it'll be. It can probably run all the time in the winter, but it'll be on when practice starts or an hour before practice, and then when it gets done.
Okay.
Just to get some air movement going in there.
We had this discussion before, Mike. I don't remember. It's been about the kids leaving their equipment in there. Is that still what's happening?
Sometimes some people take them. They built kind of cubbies in there now in most of the locker rooms, so they can hang their stuff so it doesn't sit on the floor. I'm fine with. I mean, it's going to smell if it's sitting on the floor or sitting in cubbies, but at least in cubbies it can air out, and when it's off the floor, then we can
Right.
get in there and clean.
On the floor is the issue.
Yeah.
That's where it develops the mold.
Yeah, I was just wondering for the amount like being on if they weren't allowed gear there anymore, because I remember that conversation we had about.
Well, way back, they try to air it out, but they didn't have anywhere to do it, so they'd lay it all over the floor. We can't get in there and clean, which, I mean, they need it aired out. It's not very fun
Yeah.
coming in the next day putting wet gear on, but they keep it off the floor now, and they have installed those cubbies in a lot of the locker rooms, so they do have a lot more hanging room for each player.
Make a motion to approve the addition of exhaust fans. Toshiba rink locker rooms.
I'll-
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Next would be the one where we've got the request regarding a vendor. So during that, not this swim meet that's this weekend, but during the upcoming two, actually the swim club would like a coffee vendor to come into the parking lot and a private vendor to come in and vend. I'm going to go to the rules that the park board had adopted.
So this has been asked by the association.
Correct. Oops, it's not there. It'd be underneath my stuff.
Would it be allowed to bring the drinks in the building?
Yeah, they allow anything and everything. And well, I mean, as far as like,
Except for in our gyms and in the pool, yep.
No less than 10.
Right. And right now, I mean, yeah, anybody can, if you have a day pass or if you're there for an event, you can bring a beverage, you can bring food. I mean, that's part of it. But they're asking to specifically for a coffee vendor to set up basically a food truck in the parking lot.
Any concerns from the rec staff on posting that in there?
Yes. And the biggest ones are if we allow this one, who's to say that every other food truck in town can't come and request the exact same thing? I don't know if you guys have driven by the rec during a swim meet, but parking is at a premium. Well, gosh, just right now, it's even bad because we're so busy. And when school's in, our parking lot has no space. These past couple swim meets, our employee parking lot has been inundated with participants and everything too, so we're trying to fix that. But we also lost that parking lot across the street because now Carl's owns that, and they're playing ball, but at the same time, it's a private one now, and it wasn't, the last couple. So, in my opinion, parking's at a premium, and how are we going to say no to anybody else that comes as a public entity? I don't feel like I could.
So what we adopted, or the board adopted back several months ago, Mitchell Rec areas prohibited for vending of any sort. Mitchell Rec Center and its adjacent parking lot, except as per use agreement with the Dakota Riptide swim team within the rec center during swim meets that they hold on site. Which means they can vend, but we weren't going to open it up to outside vendors to be able to come to the facility. Otherwise, really, anybody could be there at any time during any event unless we write something different if we allow one in.
Well, the school has a coffee trailer out there, don't
The-
they? Teachers come out and
they've done for Gertie Bell. They've done like for different weeks, like American Education Week, or I think there's been two weeks, I think, out of the year that they've one day that they've had it pulled up there for the teachers. I mean, not saying that members of the rec might have walked over there to do it, but it was mainly for the teachers to be able to go out and
they walk
get
across
some.
the road to get right off the sidewalk next to the schools.
It was in the furthest east location. It could be not all the way up against those trees to the east, but
So about
in
40%
between.
of that parking lot is actually school district parking lot, and 60% or 65% is designated as the rec center. There's signage there. It's kind of splits at about where the corn burner is. If you go directly north from that, it kind of divides the line. So I'm assuming it was east of that line, so to speak. And
yeah, it was in that, yeah.
or that ballpark.
Yeah. Where did they say where they wanted to park it at?
No, they didn't get that into detail. This is just surface level, trying to figure out if it's even allowed.
And this would be directly related to this document here and not the, or is this the same document? Kevin, remind me if the upper part of this is the same document as this is the whole food vendor document?
Yes.
Okay. So that part you were on right there was just
It's the rules on the backside.
pertaining to the rec center.
It's actually citywide in terms of all the areas that's allowed and not allowed.
Of course.
But it explicitly
that,
prohibits
yeah.
at the rec center.
Yes.
But it says except for use agreement with Dakota Riptide.
Inside though, that's only inside.
Oh, that's inside.
Yes,
That's
that's in the rec center. So essentially, when they host a meet, we shut our
within the recs.
Yeah.
Yep.
we shut everything down to make sure they can make their money. You know,
Now,
what I mean?
if Dakota Riptide had their own coffee booth,
We could not do anything about that.
that would be absolutely fine, but that's likely to be black coffee and whatever else on that. Or if they had some syrups on hand,
Yep.
we couldn't do a thing about it.
No, they can run their concession stand how they want within the parameter or the perimeter of the rec center.
And Dakota Riptide wasn't asking for any portion of this. They just wanted to allow for, or actually have on site for the benefit of the parents,
Yep.
this coffee wagon. And
Kevin, you're just looking for feedback tonight, correct?
correct.
I guess my inclination, given Thomas's comments and given what we explicitly state in the document, I would tend to lean against allowing it personally.
Because if you think about if we allow it for a meet, then it's basketball games, and it's, well, why not every other Saturday or Monday mornings? Or
Where do you draw the line?
and if you did approve it, there'd still need to be permitting. Which isn't exorbitant, but parking's at a premium.
It's a great idea, but you're opening a can of worms. And once you open it, you can't put the lid back on it. There'll be worms everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much work it would be for somebody that owns that to be able to bring their stuff indoors.
Then they'd have to have a spot to be able to set it up.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I don't know if space is an issue in there for when they do concessions or not. I
So
mean,
it
they've
was-
got a lot of room in there.
It wasn't. It will be, because they're not going to be in the space with the indoor playground now. So we've had to move them because of the investment that we made into that space. We can't have kids and campers and everything in there, especially not with food, because we have to keep it clean. So it will be, but I think that the suggestion of possibly the swim club reaching out to a coffee company or as somebody that has this and talking to them about coming to the center and being a part of it is a possibility. Because
But
we
with
can't
limited
stop it.
space, yeah.
It's limited space, but that's part of the agreement that has been
Yeah.
set up. Is that's theirs, so
Yeah.
I can't stop that.
It's not taking away from their vending on one hand.
Nope.
because they're not vending this product. But they're asking for it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That, yeah. I mean, they're
Right.
they're the one that's at. They're. It's not somebody that's outside trying to
Nope.
nose in on. They're the ones that are asking for
And
it.
part of me thought, could they go ask in front of the hardware store? But imagine all the parking and all the
Right.
traffic that'll be in their parking lot.
Yeah. And that has been an issue, and that would be an issue. I do know that from history. But the intentions of this are pure. Like, I do believe the swim club it is a good idea. I just don't think it's feasible for the agreement that we've had and for our space limitations.
We thought long and hard about this document when we created it.
Yeah, I mean, about the only thing that they could attempt to try to make work, I think, would be if they were able to make something work across the street in that strip mall.
It's a lot of
Park
people,
there.
Safety.
a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah, well, I mean, but what I'm saying is the
Yeah.
parking that takes place over there too,
Right.
on that side, that there's a lot of traffic that way anyway, coming towards, because there's more parking out of the lot than there is
Yes.
in the lot.
Yeah. And if
But
they,
there's also parking on the east side of Gurney Bell too, that people walk all the way around the block.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean,
They're 2 blocks away.
it's almost up to 15th Avenue.
but yeah, directly in the lot is on the city property is probably not.
If they were to go around the corner and be on school property, on the grass out front or something, in front of at the east entrance of the school, but that's upon getting permission from
School
the
district.
school board. And
Yeah, if they even in the
The bus drop off.
That little
bus.
inlet, yep. The one right in front of the school.
yeah.
That would be a very, if the swim club would approach you guys or whoever they would need to about that, that would be very smart.
Yeah, that would probably be the optimal location out of city's wings.
Because you are right, they go that direction. They go towards your place. They go on the 15th. I would say half the parking is street parking that direction for our swim meets.
They weren't looking for this weekend, were they?
Nope.
No. I was gonna say they're not.
January, February.
Yeah. Any further discussion?
So when do we have to make a decision on that?
This is actually just a consensus thing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hearing leaning against. I don't know that I've heard from everybody, but
I think we have enough vendors at the ice rink that wouldn't have that problem over there. If they brought a trailer over to sell coffee, would be another thing that somebody might want to do. But that's our property also.
yeah, what do we have written for that?
That they just have to fill the permit out.
Does Hockey Association sell coffee out of their concession stand?
They have a coffee, cappuccino, hot chocolate machine in there.
Not within 200 yards of the entrance of the Mitchell Activity Center, ice arena, during its season of operation. Because they do bend.
Again, if Mitchell Hockey wanted to do that and they talked to the school district, what's that parking lot over there? How is that split?
As far as going over,
I mean, 200 yards. They'd have to go to the.
They'd have to go to the south parking lot, but the south parking lot at the ice arena, there's a little drainage ditch, and
That's
that's
the
the
line.
official property line for.
there will be a
school.
new parking lot there next year. All of what's green space around the marquee sign is intended to be parking lot. So we're looking at moving as many of those 8 trees that are sitting there yet this fall in advance of that, rather than next summer when the construction's starting. Then it might be worth considering over there. But even then, I'll bet during tournaments and games, the parking lot's still full.
There'd be plenty full even with that new parking lot. Yep.
I can't see where they would say, "Yep, let somebody else come in and vend the coffee," because if they're already doing it, that wouldn't make sense.
I would say we notify them to
Explore other avenues.
explore other avenues and
Yep.
let them know that they can go this far away. And that's probably their best option.
Yep.
Okay. Next meeting date. I'm sorry, I said that for you, Lou.
You say whatever you want.
Would be what, the 13th? It's calendar behind you.
13th.
November 13th.
That calendar right there.
November 13th.
I was looking at that too. I was like, that's a Wednesday.
Yep.
November 13th, 6 o'clock.
Golf boards kind of said, you know, we kind of like going on Thursday nights. I wonder if park board would switch times with us at 4 o'clock. I said, I have a hard time getting a quorum at 4 or 6 o'clock, much less going to 4 o'clock with them. So, with you,
People on job.
Anything else? All right, meeting adjourned.